like the fact that people can hear me through walls, so. Hi guys! So today I thought I would try something kind of different and film my process of me sewing. I don't know how I want to do this video, but I thought I would try it because I had something I wanted to work on today. So I have this dress that I've had for 2 years and I've almost gotten rid of like 4 different times. And for some reason I just like keep saving it and I'm like, I'm gonna wear it. And then every time I wear it, I'm like, I don't like how this looks. I don't feel great in it. And I could be wearing something that makes me happier. So I thought that today I would just try to make it into something that I actually like and film it for fun. Let's get to it. So this is the dress on. I'm not a fan at all, and this has to be pinned because otherwise it's just all out, which is not very fun. So it makes it look really awkward when I have to pin it. I like this skirt. I think the skirt is really pretty. The back, it's really awkward because the tie goes around and I don't know. I think it's super weird. So I'm thinking about just cutting the top off and making it a wrap skirt, which I feel like would make me a lot happier because I really like the skirt portion. I just think the top is super awkward, does not fit right, and not flattering at all. So here's the dress. And by looking at the way it's made, because there is no lining, so it's pretty easy to manipulate. So I'm thinking about just cutting above this seam, sewing that down, and then just keeping it as a ruffle skirt, and cutting these ties and sewing them on the inner sides so that it's easier to tie and doesn't go all the way around my back. So actually I'm going to take my handy dandy seam ripper and I'm going to seam rip up a little bit because the tie is actually connected all the way around the neckline. It's always like pretty nerve-wracking like cutting into like a piece of clothing that like you bought for some reason. I don't know. It's just a little vest. We're gonna save these ties for later, so we're gonna need them to tie up the skirt. Ka-chow. So right now, this is what we have. And so now what I think I'm gonna do, I'm pretty sure I like the length. I think the length is pretty good. So I'm just going to cut this first. Turn down the edge to meet that seam. And then fold it down, and that's going to kind of give us a waistband so that it's not just a really thin piece of cloth around your waist. After I kind of looked at the skirt a little bit more in the mirror, I'm like, I don't like the length actually. I think it's too long. So I'm just going to kind of cut into it a little more. I don't know if it's just me, but like long skirts on me, like they look so good on some people. I feel like they're just like so unflattering on me. I feel like I look like a grandmother every time I wear one. But then I see like other people wearing them and they're like so cute. And I'm like, I just don't understand. So I'm gonna try turning down this edge, try it on, see if I like the length, and go from there. And so I'm probably gonna pin down the edge about 1/2 inch down, and then a full inch. I don't understand people either who, when they sew, they don't like cut their threads as they go, they cut them all at the end, like. That would drive me crazy, like I can't handle that. I need to cut as I go. Model it in the mirror for a minute. So I can be happy with that length. So now to make these a little stiffer so that it doesn't just fold over and get all messy when you wear it, I'm going to add some interfacing in it.
Voiceover mode, activate. So what I'm doing here is I'm pressing the waistband down all the way around where I pinned it so that I have kind of a guide for where I want the interfacing to go. And so I'm using an adhesive interfacing, which means that it adheres to the fabric with the use of heat. So I'm ironing it down, making sure that the bubbly side of the interfacing, which is more of a textured part, is down. And then I folded the waistband down again and pinned it back in place so that it's ready to sew. I'm just going to sew it on the bottom and probably on the top too. We'll see how snazzy I'm feeling. I'm gonna look if I have any yellow thread. What do you know? I have a bobbin ready made. And there's our waistband, yay! So now I have to figure out what I want to do with the ruffle. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to seam rip pretty far so that I can cut it at an angle so that it'll end up higher. And that way I can attach this to be more like that. So I'm trying to line these up to see what kind of a curve I'm getting, because I liked the way that the skirt flowed originally. So I think because the curve is a little off and I can't serge this edge because I don't have the right color, I think I'm going to seam rip it all the way down to here so that I can move it down instead of actually cutting the fabric. Now I'm gonna go take a food break. I'll be right back. And back. Now time to do the other side. Alright, so I reached the seam, so now I'm just going to cut where I want to sew it so that it matches up again. So now that I know where I'm supposed to be, I can sew those edges back together. And because that seam is going to be unfinished, I'm going to serge it down too. I need to put my machine on rolled so that I have a nice finished edge. And now I'm going to match my seams up. And stitch this whole thing. And then because the seam is raw, I'm also going to serge it. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that both sides are done, I'm going to take the strings that we left on the top and I'm going to sew them on the edges and on the side seams. And so because we seam ripped them a little bit, they're not sewn all the way. So I'm just going to finish sewing them up, and I'm also going to turn this edge down and sew it like that so that it has a finished edge. Okay, so now we have the ties. And the way I like to wear these skirts is I usually go right and then left. Wait. I was wrong. I usually go left and then right. So right over left. And so that means I'm going to want my longer ones to be on the outside so that I can tie them in a little bow or something. These ones are longer. So I'm going to take one of them, making sure that the finished side is out, that the pretty stitches are up. Yep. I'm going to pin it here and stitch it, folding the edge over to get a nice edge. So the way I usually do that is I'll put 2 stitches going this way, and then I'll put a few stitches going that way and get it finished. Okay, so those are the first 2 ties. And so that's for the outside edge. It goes together like that, and they'll tie here, and that's where it's finished. So now, to keep the other side up, we have to put the ties here. So make sure to put the finished edge out, and this one goes on the inside, and I will also put this one about 1 inch away from the side seam, so I can make it a little smaller if I have to. And now I have a new wrap skirt. Let's go try it on. And here is the finished skirt. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it's super cute and something that I'll wear a lot more like this than the dress. I really like this whole outfit too. I tied it in with some of my favorite earrings, and I think it's super cute. But unfortunately, it was a very windy day, and wind and a wrap skirt they don't really go together. And it was also very cold, so I decided to pair it with a cute jacket, and I'm really happy with this whole look. I really like the way that the jacket pairs with the shoes, and I think it just adds a whole nother level to the skirt. So if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching!